Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to celebrate Buffa's win of the JGP. Your boy won. That's right. The streak of Ace is over. Just like at WrestleMania when Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker. Buffa has beaten Geats. He has won. Our boy won. Everyone's favorite bull-headed zombie. And honestly, it was good. It was real good. It was smart thinking too. Because honestly, I thought he was a dumbass. But that's besides the point. Buffa has won. And I'm very happy. This appeases me. Our Buffa is a champion. Dude, this is uncomfortable. Like, man, it's hot. It's like freaking. It's like 96 degrees right now, man. Oh my god. Oof. Oh, fuck. So uncomfortable. Dude, like, literally, I'm sweating in places that I should not be sweating right now. And you know what, honestly, the whole standing thing, like, I can't do that. Like, this is, like, I mean, obviously, this backdrop is good. We got some waifus and this and that, but yeah. All right, I'm going to jump into the Geats episode 32 review. I'm feeling better. Thank you, everyone who was hitting me up saying, hey, you feel better, Mark? Hope everything's going well. I'm good now. So I'm going to act like, honestly, I just want to sit down. I'm going to sit down. We're going to talk about the episode. And yeah, I have no transitions, honestly. I don't have any like fancy shit. Like, I'm just going to go sit in the chair and then the camera's going to change. Because budget cuts. All right? Budget cuts. I'm sorry. I had to, yeah. All right, this is a much better time to go over episode 32 of Kamen Rider Geats. Because, man, listen, I was worried of how everything with the JGP was going. I was questioning. You saw my reviews. There was a lull period. It started to pick up. Then there was a lull. Like, you know, this is one of the things where I'm like, this is why I don't give up on shows. This is why I don't just stop watching. I still watch week to week because you never know what's gonna happen, like where they're gonna go. And this episode freaking delivered. And let's so obviously we got to talk about, like, there's some things I need more answers to, but I got enough answers where I'm just like, okay, I'm not mad. Like Arc Metal, he, like, the Jamato ate him last episode, right? And when this episode picks up where they left off with Michinaga and Ace talking, he just shows up and then he transforms into Jamato and he's back as Arc Metal. And the whole entire time he just wants to win because he wants his ideal world for the Jamato. But like, I was like, wait, he can switch between Arc Metal and the Jamato? Like, so they're combined, like a fusion? Like when Boo absorbed, like, Piccolo and Gohan and Gotenks? Like, is that what happened? Because that's the only thing I could think of. And then, Gene's back, and I was like, oh, I thought he was on like this whole like self-discovery, like, let me check the world out for myself type of, personal journey, but that didn't last long. That was like 3 episodes. I mean, makes sense. One thing I will point out, man, the way Gene just snatched that laser raise riser from Geese is like, give me that back. And I'm just like, oh, all right. But back on the Arc Metal, I'm digging this rogue Arc Metal because like he's been plotting this for a while. Like he's like Baroba calls him a traitor. He's like, nah, y'all the traitor. You're the one who's backing Michinaga. Like he's not even a Jamato. You're supposed to be a Jamato sponsor, and he never trusted him. And basically Arc Metal's claiming he's the one who loves the Jamato. Those are his babies. He's the one who loves them and wants like the best for them. And I'm like, all right. So are we gonna get like Baroba and Arc Metal and like a custody battle for the Jamato? Because honestly, I'd watch that. Give me that as like a Toei tokusatsu fun time like special. I'm there for it, 100%. Okay, because that sounds fun. So, like I said, Gene was supposed to be on the self-discovery, but really he's just been doing some investigating journalism onto the DGP. And we find out that it was completely different when it first started out. It was just people fighting for honor. They won. They got a pure gold coin. And I'm like, do we just get an origin story for the coin Ace has? I was like, okay. And it changed into you getting your ideal world, coincidentally, right when Mitsume retired as the navigator. And, you know, Ace is asking us questions, and G's like, why don't you go ask your mom directly for the information? And then he's like, I'm still your supporter. Then he gives him the boost buckle. I'm like, what does the boost buckle do? He has boost mark 2. You're going to give him the regular boost buckle, but he has boost mark 2. But this episode gave us a lot of, like, pushing some narrative forward, almost closing some doors and giving us some depth to some things. You know, we had Time Fire and freaking Niram fighting and arguing because, you know, he's mad at Niram because things have not been handled well. Baroba causing all this damage, and it's making his job a nightmare to kind of keep everything secret, because that's what he's doing. Hush hush, play off the police, this and that. And really quick, why is Niram carrying around what I assume is a bottle of fancy seltzer water with fancy glasses? Because it's just seltzer. But I mean, he's a man of culture, okay? Because earlier when Ace was like, hey, let me go see my mom, Niram was sitting there delicately and ever so sophisticatedly destroying those escargot. Like, he was just like with little clamp things. He was like scooping it. Like, I was like, okay, you know what, sir? You like food. I enjoy Niram eating food and Ace talking to him, okay? But the whole thing about this situation is Niram's basically like, you know what? Once I get the drive back, I'm just resetting everything. We're done with this world. I'm out. Like, we're gonna wipe everyone's memory, and then you can have Nan as the ideal daughter, and you won't know any of this stuff. And then maybe, you know, you can show her the sincere love for her finally. And once again, because he's said this in the past to her, to Time Fire about his love for Neon and not having it, and that just sets him off. And I'm like, you know. And one of the things that he said that, like, I was like, okay, dick, was he said, I didn't create Neon for that purpose. And I'm like, damn, he really didn't create a daughter to love again. Like, we knew that, but, like, to hear him just flat out say that word for word, I'm like, okay. Ugh. And so from the supporter standpoint, I always said I wanted more backstory on these supporters and this, that, but Baroba, I really don't, to an extent, because we kind of got enough of her personality and her confrontation with Michinaga, where basically she all but admits she has a thing for losers. And because he's about to win, she's already done with him. She's like, you know, I'm done with you after this, because, you know, you're not going to be a loser. You're going to be a winner. And I was like, you know what? That's cool. I can get behind that, honestly. I really kind of, it's entertaining. Shit. It has been so many episodes, and I've said this constantly throughout the show. Give me the Ace, Michinaga, the Geats, Buffa showdown. Give me it proper. And I think for right now, this is the best we're going to get, because I don't think this is the last time they're going to face off. But, man, it was so good. Because the whole entire thing is Ace wants the Vision Driver because he wants to go see Mommy. And he's like, I'm not going to hold back this time. And Michinaga was literally like, oh, so you've been holding back this whole time? He's like, you cocky bastard. And I was like, I got some anime vibes when, you know, someone's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to really try it. It's like, you haven't been trying. It's like, you son of... And, dude, this fight is everything I wanted. The only thing I would say is I wish it was longer. Like, so we had Ace with Magnum Boost versus Buffa with the zombie. I was wondering why Buffa hasn't been using the, didn't use the Jamato buckle, because I really like the zombie Jamato combo. But man, the back and forth, the countering. At one point, Ace counters his own zombie poison strike on Buffa. Buffa just, you know, drops his little chainsaw sword, and he's like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna like kick you and punch you in the face. And then it was just punching and kicking and punching in the face, and I was like, I like this. The fighting looked so damn good. And I was like, when Kamen Rider Geats, when this show is good, it's really fucking good. The downside is the balance, because the one that's a lull episode, it's just kind of takes you out of it. But when it hits and it's on its stride, these episodes are great. And like I said, this was quick because Buffa Buffa basically wins that round, honestly, between the two. But Ace, ends up still getting the Vision Driver, and he, teleports away to go see mommy. And I'm like, okay. This was one of my favorite moments of the episode from a non-action standpoint, because we got some emotion, some vulnerability from Ace as a character, which we really haven't seen often in this show. When he's asking, why won't she talk to him? Like, what? Like, he has never technically seen his mother, other than that one vision he has where her back is to him, saying, he'll be happier in life if he just forgets about her. But obviously, this does not last as long, because Niram shows up, and now I'm just like, wait, this is a fight I didn't know I want. Niram and Ace. Because Ace even questions, is this something his mother really wanted? To be this goddess of creation, to keep doing this over and over again, sacrificing the happiness of others to grant the wish to one person. And Ace is doing all this, and the statue actually cries out, and that's when Ace realizes she's just a pawn to these admins, and that she never wanted any of this. We see the anger, that shift on his face, and dude, Darren's just like, all right, I've had enough. Like, Ace is cool and all, but like, I'm gonna need my Vision Driver back. And then he goes right into Gazer mode, and I'm like, we got Geats Boost Mark 2 this time. And I was like, all right, this is going to be a good fight. And it's been so long since we've seen Gazer fight, because, man, I remember that Buffa fight like it was yesterday. Niram, when is so disrespectful with his fighting, I love it. Like, when a man he's holding his arms behind his back, and he's just dodging in his little orbit, like, he has he's like, yeah, whatever, this is cakewalk, because it was great. And, like, at one point, Gene's looking on, and this and that, and, dude, let's face it, this is a one-sided fight, because Ace starts to get sleepy, and Niram just tosses him in a hole. And that's when I realized this is why Gene's here, because Gene tosses the laser raised riser down to him, and I'm like, oh, we're getting round 2? We're going to get Gazer versus Laser Boost now? I was like, okay, this episode is hitting good. And I will say, all that fighting was really good, even though it was quick. The copious amounts of thumbnail bait we got, I was like, that's a thumbnail. That's a thumbnail. That's a thumbnail. That's a thumbnail. These are thumbnails, because damn, the fight looked good, looked tasty. And we finally figured out what the whole plan was this whole entire time from Michinaga, because he uses his zombie strike, like his zombie finish. Zombie hands appear, pull both Niram and Ace down into the elimination area, and that's it. Buffa wins. Buffa is our Jamaiety? He's our winner. And I thought Buffa winning was going to be something that would happen later on in the show. But then I realized also we're 32 episodes in. Like I said, this season has felt really long. Like I said, because of the way it began and the pacing, I felt like, this is like mid 40s or early 40s style episodes right now. But he won, and I'm like, yay. And, everything returns to normal. Like, the mass lands. Baroba and Michinaga take the little Vision Drivers, go see the goddess. And he's like, give me my wish, bitch. I want it. And we see all the Jamato start to reappear and this and that. And I was like, awesome. This is great. And before everything ends, we see one of those old school dudes that was there, like when Mitsume was turned into the goddess, standing there with a little platform and a little box with all these ID cores. And he says it's a Rider Royale starting next. And it's basically, so I guess maybe his Michinaga's wish to have the power to destroy all Kamen Rider. Maybe this Royale is him, all the Kamen Riders are coming back and he basically gets to kill them all. Because I was like, that'd be kind of cool, because everyone thinks Battle Royale Fortnite and this and that. I'm thinking Battle Royale the film now. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more of that style and less of it's a game standpoint, like a video game style standpoint. I'm thinking Battle Royale, the actual film. And I was like, I'm all for this. This is good. I cannot wait. I love it. I want more. I'm already hyped for episode 33, and I haven't felt like this for a while with Geats. The last couple episodes have been really good, like, to an extent. But this episode, I was like, shit. Like, all right, now we're cooking with oil. This is going places. I did actually watch the preview too. I saw freaking Buffa's new form. I was like, what, Buffa? I was like, okay. Like, even though it looked like kind of like a fever, zombie fever form, but we know from other stuff like he's getting another form. So, and I'm curious for Keiwa to come back, and I'm hoping this will lead to some Keiwa stuff, maybe some Kakura stuff. I'd be okay if we had less Gene involved, but I'm really curious now of mainly Michinaga and Ace, especially because Ace finally lost, but also the fact that, like, and I want some more Arca Metal information too. I am curious more about the Jamato themselves, because we really haven't gotten any real full-fledged, deep lore backstory into the Jamato, so I'm really hoping that happens next. But yeah, that's it for this episode, this review of episode 32 of Kamen Rider Geats. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm curious, because this was a great episode. But that's it. I'm feeling better. I got some other content I'm working on. So yeah, I got the drawing tablet out. I'm working on some merch. So that's it for the video. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.